Hi, everybody. It's your girl, Lynn Roberts, and this is another edition of Expressed Opinion After Dark. So go ahead, sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice glass of wine, and get ready for some grown folk conversation. Today, my guest is Dr. Jamal Toure. Is that the name you're going by today? I mean,
Whatever name you want to call
you
me.
got some aliases. So
Right. So whatever
Amir,
name. It,
Amir, you got Claude. I'm just saying, what we going by today?
what they all come out.
They all. Oh, so we gonna see all those
That's right.
personalities
That's right.
tonight.
You're gonna see, yeah, and a little bit
Oh
more.
my
Some you probably
goodness.
never saw before.
All right. Well, we're going to be. Let's talk to Doctor Teray
Oh
first.
really? Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Then we'll get to Claude later.
Oh, okay. Okay. Mm.
So we're gonna talk to you about first. You have many accolades under your belt. You have a doctorate of African American Studies, correct?
This is law.
Law
Law.
too.
This is law,
Oh, you
law.
a law.
Yeah,
Oh,
but we,
okay. So,
but
oh, so,
so so yeah, so law.
law and
And
you're a historian as well,
Mhm.
right? All right. So we're gonna get into it. You've also been a professor at Savannah State
Yes,
University,
ma'am.
as well as Georgia Southern
Mm-hmm.
University.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
how long were you at Savannah State?
11 years at Savannah State, and in fact, I'm back this year, right back at Savannah State, but 11 years at Savannah State.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So you're back. You couldn't just leave it alone, huh?
They want me back.
Oh,
So now, see, I gotta say this right here.
what?
It took me 7 years to come back on your show. That 7 years. 7 years.
First of all,
Excuse me.
you need to bring it down a little.
Probably was 10 years. But I'm just being nice right now. So that's why you had to ask me no question.
Wait a minute. Hold up, swole up. It has not been no 7 years.
In my mind.
Well, see, we already know how your mind is, so that doesn't count. Anywho, back to the subject at hand.
Okay, all right.
So
you rewind.
you was at Savannah State for 11 years, and now you're back.
Right.
So you're teaching. What are you teaching?
African
You're
studies.
still teaching African American studies, and you was at Georgia Southern for how long?
The Georgia Southern, that was 3 years at Georgia Southern.
Okay, you was teaching the same thing there.
Right, and criminal justice.
Oh, okay. So what made you come back to Savannah State?
Well, actually, they contacted me
Oh,
because
really?
it's been a transition, pandemic, and then also with regards to other matters at Savannah State, with regards to deficits and other things like that, saying, wanted to bring back some of the spirit because when I would go on campus, people would see me at time, they say, listen, excuse me, we need you back. Because again, what my thing is, I'm always going to infuse in the people that they are Savannah State and they understand where Savannah State stands because and that's what I always give all my people, and that it becomes almost infectious. That now people in the class with me feeling it, they feeling like, yo, we Savannah State. Then it begins to spread out, and so
I'm Savannah State as well.
right,
I'm an alumni,
right,
alumnus of Savannah State University.
and that's right. That's why I give it to them. I tell them, I say, listen here. I say, when I see you, I see me. So that's why because the professors that I had, what they gave me, I gotta give it to you.
Exactly.
You become the next generation, and so some of them they begin to buy into it because it hit them. Because other people are there, just in general, not just in general with regards with most colleges and universities, folks are there because it's a job.
Yeah, exactly.
But when it's a part of who you are,
exactly,
it's more than that.
Exactly.
It's like we gotta have that next generation of me, bam, going forward, of you going forward, of the people who went to school going forward, making it happen because that's when we realize that's what was given to us. So yeah.
Okay. Now, do you see a difference in teaching at Savannah State, or what type of difference do you see teaching at Savannah State than you did from Georgia Southern?
What is interesting during that time is that, for one, you had the pandemic to come into play. The pandemic came into play. People got the mask on.
Yeah.
And I told folks at that time I was there, it was easier to hide.
Yeah.
Because when you got when you had the mask on, you can really hide. At Savannah State, my people, the relationship that we developed, that is up front, is in your face, because in the class, we're going to cuss. We're gonna yell, we're gonna scream, because I'm like, it's gonna be just like you at home, or it's gonna be just like you in the dorm room, or you're in your apartment, you're on the street. That bam, we're gonna do that. At Georgia Southern, I saw whereas to me it was like being that openness was not there.
Yeah.
In some
Uh-huh.
cases, it could be with certain people, but then that opens try to bring it out of them.
Mhm.
And I said to them in a class one time, I said, listen, here it is. You got a professor who's saying to you all,
Mhm.
be honest,
Mhm.
be real, give your
Exactly.
opinion,
Yeah.
express your opinion,
Mhm.
express your opinion, and bam, I say that this is a judgment free zone.
Mhm.
So whatever you say, bam, this judgment free. You ain't gotta sweat it.
Mhm.
And I had to say to someone, I said, listen, even when a professor come and tell you all that, you still like, no, he's trying to get us. He's trying to get us. He's
Mhm.
trying to get us. And
Mhm.
so what happened for some of them after they say, yeah, Jamal, yeah, that's what we were saying. That's exactly what we were saying. We're
But you
like,
didn't express it in the class.
right. What they were saying is that, yeah, what you were saying, we still thinking you trying to get us. That
Yeah.
it's a trick. And
Uh-huh.
I'm like saying, no, it's not. And I said, no. I said, what the deal is, I need you all to be real and have real
Station.
conversations.
Mhm.
Not, don't give me what you think you want me to hear. That I
Exactly.
need you to all to be thinkers. That's the thing I always emphasize to folks. I need you to be thinkers. I need you to be leaders. You're not leaders of today. I mean,
Mhm.
leaders of tomorrow. You leaders of today. So
Mhm.
when you walk out here, you are being leaders, and so my people begin to buy into that. And that's tied to the Savannah State element because they know, like, bam, they say in Toure's office, he'll have like 15 students in his office all day.
Mhm.
People coming in there, other professors looking, they like, they're all right there. Even at Georgia Southern,
Mhm.
they begin to have people got someone coming there because
Mhm.
now to begin to buy in. And what I would say to them, I'm bringing the HBCU experience to you all at a predominant Caucasian institution,
Mhm.
which was still a little different because um, at HBCUs we understand again why we are there,
Yeah.
what this is about. That
Yeah.
again is not. I'm not just there for from 8 to 5 o'clock or 8 to 3 or 8 to 4 or 9 to 4.
Mhm.
I'm there because I see you.
Mhm.
That when I go to that grocery store,
Yeah.
I'm gonna see you.
Mhm.
When I go to the mall, I'm gonna see you. When I'm
Exactly.
downtown, I'm gonna see you. So
Mhm.
again, it's not standoffish. It's
Mhm.
not something sterile. We are part of this atmosphere right here, and because we're part of this atmosphere, I gotta make sure I'm gonna be my best
Exactly.
with you, so then that way you be the best with me. So that's and with them, that was a transition for them that some got it,
Yeah.
but some
Some.
didn't because again, and I'm gonna tell you, that's the climate that we live in right now
Yeah.
today.
Because I was going to ask you, especially with the climate that we have today, with all of this going on, and with the funding or defunding of HBCUs, how do you think that is going to be affecting the schools going forward?
Well, now what happened. The Department of Education said that they funding that was supposed to be for minority serving institutions,
Mhm.
they're now going to shift it over to HBCUs and Native American schools. So people like saying, "Hey, the United Negro College Fund." The people that say this is a godsend for us, but let's see how it all plays out.
Uh huh.
But just in general, the whole, and again, it could be Caucasian institute, predominantly Caucasian institutions, and also predominantly African American institutions that all of it is just everybody's like under this fear
Mhm.
that we can't be expressive.
Uh huh.
Again, we're told not to talk about us. We're not so that, you have programs with tied to African American programs
Mhm.
at predominantly Caucasian institutions, and
Yeah.
they get diminished. Just like somebody contacted me and said, "Hey, the Office of Ome at Georgia Southern, they will not be doing this and doing that." I'm like, "What, bro?" I'm like, "Wait a minute," and that they're going to shift some things around, and that I'm like, no, this is needed because when you have that African American student coming to Georgia Southern,
Mhm.
that Latino student coming to Georgia Southern, that Asian student,
Mhm.
they got to have those places of
Yeah.
respite because you go in these classes. I'm like saying, no reason for us to play the game. I tell folks I'm upfront about stuff. Racism is alive.
Yes, alive
It's
and
inside
well.
classrooms. I just had a parent talking to me. She and I had been talking about issues that her son had experienced, an African American engineering student experienced it at Georgia Southern. And
What?
so, and we having conversations, and I'm telling her certain things. And so, but the parent is already on top of it. And she said, "But Jamal, imagine the other students who don't have
Mhm.
that type of sport." I'm like, that's exactly. So
Mhm.
we play this game, and so I got to tell people, I like, listen here, we bringing an atmosphere here to you, so that now we understand that your humanity always got to be expected. I mean,
Mhm.
respected. That it's not professor against student, because
Mhm.
in fact I call them scholars. I
Mhm.
say it's not scholars against professors. I said that's not how it's supposed to be. My job is to help you walk across the
That
stage.
stage, yeah.
And so for some of them, that mindset that ain't what they're dealing with. Because again, it's so pretentious. And so that's why I say, what we got to do, we got to get back to being who we are,
Exactly.
not trying to follow this template that they set up for us. And so, and now universities of Georgia and others are all now looking at this. And again, they some have their eyes on these programs that tie to African Americans and
Hmm.
Latinos and other people like that. And so it's going to shake up some things for folks. People are afraid when I think in some cases they have no reason to be afraid.
Exactly. And what do you got to be afraid of? Like, cause we
Right.
ain't doing nothing to y'all. So just like with the what is it? They got this thing we're talking about. We're gonna switch to the lawyer.
Hmm.
We're gonna switch. Well, okay, wait a minute. When you was going to law school, was you Jamal or Mir? Which one were you? So I know
Wow.
which one. Which
Wow.
which
All right. So we're gonna do this. So we're gonna
Wait,
extract.
I'm
It
just
was,
saying. I need to know
uh,
who I'm
all right.
talking to
All
now.
right.
So,
So it was Claude Jamal Lee the third.
ooh, Lord.
Claude
Okay.
Jamal Lee the third.
Ooh, yeah.
But
That's
then what
yeah.
happened,
Okay.
since you want to be like that, but while I was in law school,
Uh huh.
I changed my name in law school.
Okay.
I changed my
To
name.
to
Amir Jamal
to Ray.
Toure.
Okay.
Hold up,
So
hold up,
okay. All
hold up,
right.
hold
Okay.
up.
All
It
right.
was, so we give
So you Esquire.
Amir Jamal Toure Ibn Claude Lee.
Okay. See, we,
Yes.
we don't like, we don't
So
even have
so
enough
since
time for
so
all of
so
that.
so but so I tell folks the law school experiences. So so just in general, what's the question you were gonna throw out there to me?
Well, I was going to, as far as with all of this stuff that is going on, as far as a lawyer standpoint, with people being fired from their jobs for speaking their minds, or like speaking truth, not even telling lies or anything, just basically speaking the truth. But because they were honest and said certain things, now they're getting fired from their jobs. And with the First Amendment, freedom of speech, how does that work? How does that play into someone being able to, like you said, express their opinion without being penalized for expressing their opinion?
And so just to say that this is not about legal advice and no one say
Yeah.
practicing law or
Mm,
anything like that.
yeah.
But it come down to issues, policies that we have in the state of Georgia. Georgia is right to work
Would say,
state.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that becomes basically the umbrella for that. You
Mm-hmm.
can be terminated for any reason.
You could be terminated
Now,
because, I don't know.
I
Yeah.
spat on
Yeah.
I spat on your dog, and you ain't
Mm-hmm.
had like that. Bam, you terminate. But
Shoot, you
now
wore the wrong
you
color
could
shirt to work. They
right,
want to
and
terminate you.
and you can still have an action. You can still say pursue a legal action if you think wrongful termination. You can still go and do that.
Mm-hmm.
What happens, the outcome that remains to be seen. But the umbrella that they use to protect a lot of this right here said Georgia's right to work, and so with regard to that, you can be terminated at will. So that's what comes into play, and so excuse me, there got to be a degree of sophistication too with the people,
Mm-hmm.
that when you're doing this, that I tell folks, you never, you always make yourself um, be the innocent party in this
Mm-hmm.
right here.
Mm-hmm.
So because when you don't give them ammunition,
Yeah.
because when you give them ammunition, then that's what they're used at. Because again, and which I'll tell you, I've witnessed this, and I've heard people talk about this. You know, Lynn Roberts got an absolute right position. What she's talking about, she got us. She got a nail on the head.
Mm-hmm.
But then somebody gonna say, but Lynn didn't do this right here. And what we can do, even though she got us, this is going to be our whipping stick right here. So you
Mm-hmm.
come in thinking you got that power, that fire, bam, like that, and
Mm-hmm.
then they throw that at you. Then it hits you like, oh, wait a minute. So that's why, and then that becomes the whipping stick. But sometimes that whipping stick, I tell folks, it ain't that strong, but it's enough. It's enough to throw you off course if
Mm-hmm.
you're not focused. And that's what happens for some people. They're not focused. So now when the people throw it at them and hit them with it, then that's what occurs. And so that's why I'm throwing it out there saying like this, that you already know how these people are.
Mm-hmm.
You already know.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do, you don't give them the
Nation.
ammunition to
Mm-hmm.
be able to try to come up with a whipping stick on that end, because they're gonna say, well, you shouldn't have said it like this. You got right free speech to go and say, that the person was racist.
Mm-hmm.
The person said bigoted things, which you have, and you say, look at these videos right here, bam, bam, bam.
Mm-hmm.
Even they try to argue with you, they can't deny that.
Mm-hmm.
But then some other thing, you ain't gotta say, like, I'm gonna jump on their grave, other stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that, I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
That's when you giving
you
them
go
the
hit, man.
ammunition.
That's
To,
right,
yeah.
man. You hit with the stuff See now, actually, I'm gonna hit you with something
Go ahead.
else. Our councilwoman here, Estella Shabazz, Bishop Dr. Estella Shabazz, said this to me years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I was outside one of her residents. She said, Jamal, whenever you come before us, we can never argue about what you're telling us.
Mm-hmm.
We might not vote the way that you like,
Mm-hmm.
but your information, we can't argue with your
Yeah,
information.
yeah. Uh-huh.
And that's one of the keys. I tell folks, you got the information, you hit them with the information.
Information.
If they don't want to acknowledge it, you don't even sweat it. But that's why, but you can always go and say, I told you A, B, C, and D.
Mm-hmm.
I told you that.
Uh-huh.
And so with that, that's why I tell folks what then occurs is that we are in a stronger position. We are
Mm-hmm.
no longer being victimized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, with that being said, what do you think about with all of this that is going on? What do you think us as a community? What is your suggestion? Because you're an activist. You're out there. You have your feet to the ground. You have your ears to the ground. You know what's going on. What do you think are some of the things that we need to do? I mean, as far as like, do we boycott? Do we stay at home? What do you think we need to be doing right now? What are some of the things that we need to be doing now?
Say this just like to say my sister
Mm-hmm.
that we are in a crucial state right now,
Mm-hmm.
and in our community, we have such
Mm-hmm.
poor leadership,
Mm-hmm.
leadership that doesn't provide us with information,
Mm-hmm.
and the people are floundering. They're like leaves in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is that because again, the question you posed it to me, I'm like, we got people need to be informed
Yeah.
because and our people not informed because our leaders don't
Mm-hmm.
inform them, and some of our leaders are ill informed also,
And
and they
irresponsible.
and egotistical,
Very much so.
egotistical,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that it's all about them. While I'm saying no, and so we not have to be about educating. We
Mm-hmm.
got to educate. When I say I'm not talking about some form of education, it's about getting information, getting right information
Mm-hmm.
in any forms, any like express opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That you get it from express opinion. That you get that information, that seed is planted in you.
Mm-hmm.
So then what happens? You take it to another level.
Yeah.
You not give it gives you a place where to go check out some things, and you
Mm-hmm.
continue to go forward.
And it's also our responsibility to make sure we're giving out the correct
Right. Oh, that's
information, because a lot of times people start giving out information and you like that, where you get that story from?
right.
Where did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
Never
Mm-hmm.
heard that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's our responsibility to make sure if we're sitting up here and we're telling something or telling our people, giving them that information, to make sure that we check, done the research before we put it out,
Right. Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
then because your credibility is on the line when
Right.
you do that, because if you do it enough times and when you're telling the wrong information,
Mm-hmm.
people are not going to listen to
Right. Yeah.
start not
Mm-hmm.
listening to you and think, well, then
Mm-hmm.
nothing they say is ever right, so what's the
Right.
point? Like
Mm-hmm.
True Social, but
Mm-hmm.
ain't nothing on there true.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
things like that.
Right.
So I see, yeah, we have that responsibility,
And
and
so
that's one of the reasons why we have this platform, to make sure.
yes, ma'am. But that's why I said that education. That again, we got to have people informed, and
Hmm.
and people got to be acceptable.
Of that
That's
information,
right.
be
That's
it
right.
good,
When
bad, or otherwise.
I should say accepting of it.
Yeah,
That again, understand people give even if you disagree with it, still take the information in,
exactly,
and it helps you to assess it. Some of us are afraid because somebody has contrary information.
exactly.
Then what happened? We run from it, flee from it. I'm like, no, it's not. You just sit right there, and you can actually be stronger.
Yeah.
Like I tell folks, I say, I believe in the Creator. I believe in the Most High.
Uh huh.
If somebody's an atheist, that don't shatter me because again, I got things that I go and say,
You
okay,
have
that
your
shows me
beliefs. I
that
have
right,
mine.
which shows me
We
that
can agree
right
to disagree.
that shows me that there's a creator. So then I don't run from that. But some
Hmm.
people they shy away, they bam, they like stop you like,
Yep.
no, you don't do stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You
If
get
if
that.
if you strong in what you believe or
Yeah.
what you know, and I should say, if you know it, bam, you don't sweat that.
You can believe what you want and still be open to
Yes,
others'
exactly,
beliefs,
exactly.
because, like you say, because if everybody believed the same thing, there's no contrast. Then what's the point?
That's right. It's about growth. Right.
Exactly,
That's right.
because you stunt your growth if you don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So we're gonna mosey on to um the other Jamal. We gonna go back to the Claude days with your because of your Geechee Gullah deceit. So yeah, we gonna talk to Claude now. Now Claude is from. Now, are you not from South Carolina? Are you?
Savannah and Hilton Head.
Savannah,
So
and so you both
right,
like
right.
born in one spot, raised in other. Yeah.
And
Oh,
both
both.
places,
Uh,
and I tell people that even to this day, people like, which one is it? Yeah,
both.
right, because I'm like, and then I have to break down time. And say, listen, here, we in Savannah Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Friday afternoon, we are leaving Savannah,
Uh-huh.
going to Hilton Head. Friday, Saturday, and
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, we are on Hilton Head. We come back Sunday evening. Bam, Sunday night, we in Savannah. Bam, we do that. We going to school. At one point, I went to school in Hilton Head also.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like that. So when it comes down to holidays, we on Hilton Head on the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
It comes down to summer vacation, we on Hilton Head. We are there for any school holiday, any breaks, anything. We on Hilton Head. So I
Mm.
tell folks, I'm like, listen, I'm like, yo,
I get it
right,
because
yeah,
I'm like that. I'm part city, part country
yeah,
because I was born
yeah,
and partly raised in New York.
yes.
And then my mother shipped me to the country where, I went to school in New York and I went to school in the country. And when I say country, I mean country because it's like so country we don't even have a red light.
Mm, mm, mm,
Still to
mm,
this
mm,
day
mm.
we got a bigger stop sign,
Right.
but we still
Right.
don't have a
Right.
red
Yes,
light.
ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
yeah,
Yes,
so
ma'am. Yes,
I
ma'am.
I, I get it.
Right.
So with your Geechee background, because like you do the tours, you do
Mm-hmm.
the history tours.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you do them in the Savannah area.
Right.
Do you do any of those tours in Hilton Head to tell people about the history over there?
So what I do, I tell folks, we offer daily tours in the city.
Yeah. Mhm.
And we can go outside of the city when we got groups.
No, yeah.
That's Southern South Carolina, coastal Georgia. I
Mhm.
tell folks, I said we can even go down to Northern Florida.
Oh
And
wow.
so, we can do it in Charleston, but because Charleston is like Savannah, they regulate tourism.
Yeah.
And so that's why I don't interfere in certain things like that.
Mhm.
So that's what we do. And so we get, like, for instance, in October, got
Mhm.
a school group coming from Atlanta that we've done stuff with. So I'm gonna be with them Monday, Wednesday. It's gonna be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wait.
Do
Wednesday,
you know your
Thursday, and
guys'
Friday.
week?
No, I had to think. They're arriving on Tuesday, and so I'm gonna be with them. They're gonna have me for 3 days because they're thinking like, listen, we gotta have you the entire time. So I'm gonna be doing a tour with them
Mhm.
Wednesday in Savannah. Then Thursday, I'm gonna go with them over to Sapelo. But when we
Mhm.
go to Sapelo, I'm gonna give them history, leaving out of Chatham County, going through
Mhm.
Bryan County, McIntosh County, giving Liberty County, giving them history. We
Mhm.
come back, I'm giving them more history. And in fact, our former state senator Lester Jackson,
Mhm.
what they did, they had something in July, and
Mhm.
he was like, "Hey, we want to go over to St. Helena. We want you to do the tour." So I left from Savannah with them. Then we go through Jasper County, we go through Beaufort County. I'm giving the history the entire
Mhm.
time. And so some people like, dog, we get Jamal, he gonna give us history,
Yeah,
things that we don't.
time pause.
Uh
How do you remember all of this stuff? I mean, because
huh.
look, you are like an encyclopedia. Those of you who don't know what encyclopedias were, those
Oh,
are those little books
oh,
that we used to have to use in order to
oh.
get our history. Yeah, we used to have to actually look in a book and then read it and get the stuff out of there. We didn't Google. But anywho, I digress. Anyway, so all of it because it's like you just like you just spit stuff out. It's like what got you into history like this in the first place?
Well, since this is expressive opinion,
Express your
so
opinion.
expressive opinion is getting some information that is cutting edge
Uh-huh.
and that is actually with you.
Uh-huh.
Because other people don't necessarily ask that question,
Mhm.
and other people ask me at other times, but then I'm not able. Well, excuse me, I'm saying I am able,
Uh-huh.
but they don't go to the depths, and so I guess I'll share
Yeah.
this with you, the combination, so that way you almost
Yeah.
get some exclusive
Yeah.
information. Um, that is always about. I make connections and ties.
Mhm.
I tell folks I can walk into any environment and I see Africa. I can
Mhm.
be in a room, just for nothing else in the room.
Mhm.
I can still see Africa. I
Wow.
see it. Bam! I make the connections and
Mhm.
ties. And so what it comes down to is one of the things that the Most High ordained me with, and that's
Mhm.
why I tell folks that again. All of us, we're none of us, no child is an accident.
Yeah.
We all are ordained to be here.
Mhm.
That the Most High, for you to be here, is just been ordained, which means that you are divine. You have divine purposes in your life, not just
Mhm.
one purpose,
Mm.
but divine
Purpose is.
purposes. And so, with that, the Most High ordained me with that to be able to look at stuff and make connections and ties.
Yeah.
And because again, it's about bringing people together, bringing thoughts together. You know,
Mhm.
saying like, I understand it ain't about me.
Mhm.
I'm just a conduit. I'm just a
Yeah.
vessel. And
Yeah.
that's why I tell folks, if your job is your expertise is with regards to real estate,
Mhm.
guess what? Some things I ain't gonna interfere because I know there's a certain level that you know
Uh-huh.
that you got to understand of that I can go this far right here, but you take it to another
Yeah.
level. So I just sit back and I just maybe give a word, bam, and then but let you take it from there.
Yeah. He said that, y'all, because I am a licensed realtor. But
Right. Okay.
yeah.
But
But
I'll
anywho,
just
if
saying, you
if you
know,
need a house, call me.
right.
But go ahead.
Right. Well, and other people that I say, 'cause I say if that's your thing,
Yeah.
bam, that's what you're gonna do. Because
Yeah.
I'm not saying, see, my ego. That's why again,
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
teaches humility.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
and so Jamal's
Stay in
job
your
is
lane.
just
Yeah.
to
Exactly.
be a conduit, just to help make connections and
Mhm.
ties. And I go and say that was ordained by the Most High. And
Mhm.
so some people don't realize that, but you get this on express opinion that now saying people start saying, oh. That's why you do it, because I throughout the
Mhm.
people I say I'm an angel. Some
Mhm.
like, what angel? They ain't understand it
Yeah.
because they got
Yeah.
this other.
Yeah.
I'm like, said, no, my job is just to be a conduit. So what happened for me, it was tied to Hilton Head and
Yeah.
Savannah. So I'm on Hilton Head and I'm reading information
Mhm.
written by other people.
Yeah.
And they're saying this is what we do in South Carolina, such and such and such and so and so.
Mhm. And you looking side
And it's just like that
eye.
because I'm reading it and I'm like, looking at that, there's got to be
Yeah.
more to it. It
Uh-huh.
got to be more.
Uh-huh.
But it's never coming out.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm feeling a little disappointed. So now I'm in Savannah and I'm reading information. They said, this is what we do in Georgia and Savannah, such and so. And it's that same sensation like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, there's
Yeah.
more to it.
Yeah.
And so now, and I'm right here, this, I'm saying I'm a child
Mhm.
and I'm having some issues with this because I'm like saying, because the world around me
Mhm.
it's showing me all this right
Showing
here.
something
But when
different.
I'm reading this stuff, when they said these are experts on this right here, and then that's when I said the Most
Mhm.
High hit me, boing. It was like a eureka moment. Like
Yeah.
Jamal, you around here waiting on somebody else to tell you who you are.
Mm.
You got to tell the people who you are.
Mm.
And so from that moment on, as a kid,
Mhm.
that's what set me on part of that pathway to now go and say,
Mhm.
listen here. That's why I say I merely give to you what I got too to other people. I
Yeah.
like to throw out those connections and ties. So now they see that connection or see
Mhm.
that tie, they take it to another level.
Mhm.
And that was the thing, because now I'm realizing as a kid, I'm spitting stuff out that adults don't know.
Mm.
And when I'm at Jenkins, I'm at Jenkins.
Yeah.
My first class at Jenkins was a class called Africa South of the Sahara. I'm
Mhm.
thinking all black people gonna take the class. I'm not looking like, wait a minute, black folks ain't taking the class. But there's
Uh-huh.
some of us in there. So the teacher, Mr. Butler, who passed away,
Mhm.
but his son harasses me. His son,
Uh-huh.
his son is disloyal to me,
Uh-huh.
but anyway, so
you said loyal or disloyal?
yeah, he's disloyal to me.
How's he
He
disloyal?
supports Rob DeLoach. Coach Rob DeLoach. He supports. That's another story.
Oh my
One
goodness.
of my mortal enemies. Just because y'all see me with Rob DeLoach, don't think he and him are cool. I just do the work. That's all.
Oh my
Because I'm an
lord.
angel. But
Okay.
anyway,
Okay,
but
Angel.
so what happened?
Uh-huh.
So Mr. Butler asked these questions in the class,
Mhm.
and I'm responding. I'm a freshman,
Yeah.
and so Mr. Butler eventually he pulls me aside one day. I'm walking in the class. He said, "Where you from?" I'm like, "I'm from here."
Mhm.
I'm like, Savannah and Hilton Head. He was like, who your parents?
Mhm.
I said, Claude and Evelyn Lee.
Mhm.
So Mr. Butler, later on, and I told folks, I
Mhm.
said, only later, decades later, I realized what was going on. Mr. Butler trying to figure out who was this little ninth grader.
Knowing all of this stuff.
This, right, this, that stuff on Africa like this and
Mhm.
that. His parents got to be from some other place. They got to
Yeah,
be from
yeah.
some other place.
Yeah.
Or they got to be a professor at Savannah State or something like
Yeah.
that. And so it hit me later
Mhm.
on. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
And that was the thing, because now I'm able to throw the stuff out there, and I'm not functioning like somebody that I had to rely on them. The
Yeah,
same thing when I
yeah.
tell folks, you're leaders of today. When I got these young people come with me from Atlanta in October and all my other ones, I tell them, I said, listen, I got third graders who know more about history and culture than the so-called experts.
Wow.
There's one brother who was an expert
Uh-huh.
out in New York.
Oh God. Okay.
I can tell he had an attitude when I said that.
Mhm.
But within 10 minutes, he was like, Jamal, if you telling kids this type of information, they do know more than us. And I'm like, right, because see, but I've seen when these little kids now know this information, especially when I got the middle
Mhm.
schoolers, I said, listen, you're gonna know more. You're gonna know more than what your teachers know. You're
Mhm.
gonna know more what your parents know, and your grandparents know. And that when these little kids, they start these teenagers, these middle schoolers get that information, and they start looking, they start realizing, like, wait a minute,
Mhm.
Miss So and so, y'all don't know that. Then it hits them like bam. And so to show you how it all works out,
Mhm.
that for years, Stone Mountain Middle School will come do tours with me.
Oh
And
wow.
Stone Mountain, and so some we used to do is that we used to then ride over to South Carolina. I'm doing
Mhm.
tours with them in South
Yeah.
and Hilton Head
Yeah.
and St. Helena, and come back to Savannah, do the tours in Savannah. And so we had elementary schools doing the same thing.
Mhm.
But what occurred was that I'm in Brunswick doing a Kwanzaa program down there at Respect
Mhm.
for Life bookstore with
Mhm.
Brother Oldest Muhammad, Brother Sister Vanessa Muhammad.
Mhm.
So I finished doing the African Spirit, and so I'm waiting to go back inside. So one of my people come out, Brother Iris, I
Mhm.
mean Ira. Ira comes out,
Uh-huh.
and so Ira said, "My people talk about you." And I know Ira's from Macon. So I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I said, yo, I said, yeah, the family reunion. He like, no, Jamal.
Mhm.
He said, my people in Stone Mountain. He said, I teach in Stone
Oh
Mountain.
wow. Okay.
I was like, "Oh, Stone Mountain Middle, Stone Mountain, that's the head of my people." He said, "No, Jamal, no. I teach at the high school."
Oh wow. Okay.
And so then he hits me. He said, "Jamal," he said, "I was in the class and I was discussing this subject." He said, "It was this kid in the back, this boy in the back, slumped in the chair in the seat, and bro said such and such and so and so, so and so." He said, he looking like, "Wait a minute, I know
Mhm.
I didn't teach them that." So he said, "Where you got that from?" And the boy said, when we were in eighth grade, went to Savannah, did a tour
Uh-huh.
with a brother
Uh-huh.
named Jamal. Brother
Uh-huh.
Jamal told us, I said, he said, Jamal, he said, I know Jamal. Then
Uh-huh.
he said, other kids started saying, you don't know Jamal. He's like, hey, Jamal, my family. Because me and I were family. Jamal, my family. Jamal performed my wedding and all that. And so he like, Jamal, he said, what you taught those kids in eighth grade,
They
this carry
still
with them and even in high school.
yeah.
And I said to him, I said, Ira, that's the greatest testimony to the work we do. That's why I
Exactly.
said that when we give it to young people, they
Now
their
let me
chest is
ask
up. So
you
yeah.
this. I know you're teaching at Savannah State, but do you teach at any of the high schools or even the middle schools here? I know you're saying Stone Mountain came and you do the tours with Stone Mountain and stuff, but what about the schools here?
So
Elementary, high school. What about the ones here?
with Coach Sam Carter, we have this conversation. Let's talk about something called proximity bias.
Oh
Uh,
Lord. Now I already know where you're going, but go ahead.
Proximity bias.
Mhm.
Because guess what? Because Lynn is here,
Mhm.
I'm here.
Mhm.
Lynn ain't all of that.
Yeah.
Lynn
Yeah.
ain't all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why I want to deal with Lynn? No, guess what? I'm gonna go to Atlanta, get me somebody in Atlanta. I
Mhm.
don't need to deal with Lynn.
Yeah.
Proximity
Right.
bias.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. She from here. I'm from here, and I tell folks, really that's self hatred.
Yeah.
So what occurs for us here, for me in particular, folks come to me and say, like they doing me a favor for
Mhm.
me to come do their Black History program,
Mhm.
or for me to come do something for them. I'm like
Yeah.
saying, yo, I'm like, y'all want me to do this for free? And so that would come
Yeah.
to play,
Yeah.
and or that it's like, you do a tour for us. I'm like, yeah, I'll do a tour for y'all, bam, and I even reduce it down.
Yeah.
But then what happened? The principals said they can't do it, and that's all and the number of stories that I have heard.
Mhm.
I go back in time. I'm saying, excuse me, I go back now, maybe at least 15 years ago.
Mhm.
I get on them about this Chatham County Board of Education,
Mhm.
Savannah Chatham, that is. Um, they brought in an Abraham Lincoln reenactor, and they paid him, I think, like almost
Are
$10,000.
you kidding me?
That's like about 15 years ago. And I'm like, yo, y'all paying this man right here to do a reenactment of Abraham Lincoln, and y'all can't pay us when we are right here. People see
And
us.
the history that you have
That's
right
right
here in this
here.
city that is not being taught in the schools.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, because Savannah has a very rich history,
Right. Mm-hmm.
so to speak, about with slavery and all of that, the civil rights movement,
All right here.
all of you got all of that
Right
right
here.
here, and you have someone that has
Yeah.
the knowledge to be able
Mm-hmm.
to share that with the kids coming up,
But
and you're
mm-hmm.
not allowed to do that.
Well, or that they don't value.
Mhm.
I was gonna say like this: they value it, but they want to try to cheapen it.
Mm.
I'm like, so no, you
Yeah.
crazy. I'm
Yeah.
like, if these people,
They want
if these
they
people over here go and have me come do this right here,
they want the hookup.
yeah,
They want the hookup package.
and that's why I tell folks, even the hookup is even. I'm just that's being nice.
Mhm.
Actually, it's just like you actually disrespecting my humanity.
Mhm.
You disrespecting me. You act like I'm stupid.
Mhm.
Like I don't know my worth.
Mhm.
I know my worth. I'm like, fool, I know more than you. And your kids gonna know more than you. And so, but I'm like,
And that's just the more you right off the top of your head
right,
like that,
right.
right?
But I'm giving you I'm giving them the self-esteem that will help that set some things off. And
Yeah.
so that's what comes into play. And that I see that. So yeah, so of course you would say that because in fact people in South Carolina, someone gonna say, y'all got Jamal with y'all in the city.
Mhm.
Y'all got him. Y'all got him.
Mhm.
But then y'all don't even want to be
But
bothered.
that's the
Right.
more of that
That
crab in the
that
barrel.
proximity
Yeah,
bias. Yeah.
yeah. Because it's like, okay, if you got someone right here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, use the resources
That's
that you
right.
have,
That's
right?
right.
Instead of looking at it in a
That's
negative
right.
way,
That's right.
use the
That's
resources that
right.
you have
That's right.
in a positive
That's
manner.
right.
And then, everybody can
That's right.
benefit from
That's
that.
right. Absolutely. You see it.
Just like, with this platform, is like, okay, each one can help each other
Right. That's
with the
right. That's
format,
right. That's right.
to
That's right.
help get your word out there,
That's
what you
right.
got going on, if
Mm-hmm.
whether it's positive,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it
Yeah.
is, you can spread the word of what you
Mm-hmm.
have going on,
Mm-hmm.
because the more you know, the more you grow.
Right. Absolutely.
So I get you on that.
Absolutely.
I get you on that. So it's
Mhm.
just crazy about how that especially that bias proximity, because I've dealt with it
Oh,
plenty of
absolutely.
time, because it's like the minute they hear your name, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, I was gonna do something else where I had been planning on that. I was gonna do something else the
Mm-hmm.
minute, because they all for it until
Mm-hmm.
they hear the person's name. Once they hear the person's name,
Oh.
then they wanna,
Oh, you ain't even got to hear the name. Just the fact that the person's from here. That's why I
exactly.
say that. Just the fact that the person's from Savannah or the person's from Hardyville,
Mhm.
then automatically you dismiss it.
Mhm.
But somebody from New York says it, somebody from Atlanta or Los Angeles, then you buy into like, wait a minute, fool. People been saying that. We've
Mhm.
been telling y'all these issues, which
Yeah.
in fact, you have people come to me and say, listen, Jamal, like the stuff y'all saying, like, yo, why they not putting that out there? I'm
Mhm.
like, because again, the ego comes into play, the proximity bias, that they lack self love. Because what you do, I tell people, your love starts within. It
Mhm.
starts within you. Then it
Yeah.
spreads out to the people around you. Then it
Mhm.
spreads out, go to other people. But then we wind up showing love to other people.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, yo,
Mhm.
you loving them as if you like a pet. It's like you like a pet. You
Mm.
like that cat. You like
Yeah.
that dog. Like showing the love. I'm like, no, you should start with the love right here
Exactly.
within you. Then you
And
spread it.
spread
Then
it
you let.
out. You
That's right. You
start at
let it
home
radiate.
first.
It's like the sun that it radiates out. So
It's
yeah.
like Gladys Knight had a song called "As Long as You Take Care of Home." So,
Yes. Uh huh.
yeah, taking care of
Yeah.
business, taking care of home. You
Mm-hmm.
take care of home first, and then the rest of hand take care of itself.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it on that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we were talking about your Hilton Head background,
Mm-hmm.
and I know, like you
Oh.
said, what?
See now, see, because yeah, we ain't really getting, to the Gullah Geechee
Yeah.
element. Now, one
So
thing
yeah.
I just want to share one of the greatest memories of love that I have, the fondness I have. But see how again how people change and mess things up for us. Like one of the best on a Sunday afternoon,
Mhm.
especially during the summertime, the Sunday afternoon.
Uh-huh.
Woo! We gonna have a Coca Cola at my grandmama's house,
Oh
a
Lord.
Coca Cola, and we're gonna have some Cuda eggs.
Some what?
Coulda eggs, coulda egg, coulda eggs,
Coulda egg.
coulda coulda eggs. That's right.
What the
Some say
heck is
coulda, we say coulda eggs, coulda eggs. Straight coulda eggs. Woo, la Coca-Cola, coulda eggs. Right there, sitting right there on my grandmama
Well,
porch,
hold
right
up,
there.
pause, pause.
So all right,
What the
is a
hell?
coulda.
Yeah, what the hell is a coulda egg?
Coulda is turtle in Gullah. Turtle egg, but
Lord have
it's
mercy.
the loggerhead turtle, the same one that when y'all go in the tide, y'all see them crossing over. Woo!
So y'all go in there and steal them turtle eggs and go and what,
So
scramble them up or what?
Oh no,
What you do?
no. Well, what we do, and see, because again, us as Gullah Geechee people, as
Yeah.
black folks, we understand how to work with the
Wait a
environment.
minute.
So
Exactly.
what
Okay.
we do, we would go. My uncles would go get the cooked eggs, and they come back and they boil it at my grandma's house. My grandmama, she didn't play that. My grandma was a fan of that. She had a specific pot. She like, y'all use my pot to go and put them cooked eggs in. And so they had a specific pot that they could boil the eggs in. And so that when we boil the eggs, or they boil the eggs, and then we sit on the porch and we get them eggs, because the eggs, they're like leathery, like they're like little balls like that, like little golf
Yeah,
balls and
yeah, look,
soft.
yeah.
And so what happened, you go, you bite a little, with your teeth, get a little hole in it,
Uh-huh.
and then you squeeze it, because see, the white never gets solid.
What?
It never gets solid.
Oh yeah,
The
because
yolk,
they
the yolk,
yeah.
the yolk, the yolk forms,
Uh-huh.
but the white is almost. I say it's like almost like snot. It's like slimy,
Ew.
and so
Uh.
and so what you do,
Oh
you
wait a minute,
squeeze.
I gotta rinse my mouth out. Wait a minute. Hold on.
And so you squeeze it. You squeeze it. Like
Mm.
it's like I'm like it's
Uh-uh.
almost that drippy, like that drippy one. That is
Ew.
that drippy one. There's that drippy one, because this is special opinion after dark. It's like drippy. It's like drippy. Drippy. It's mucus. It's like it's thick mucus. And so you squeeze. You get on out, because you like that, and then I found screen like whoop, that's when that yolk come out. Bam! You got that yolk. You like whoa! You got that Coca Cola. You did whoa! My God! People are, and so right now today,
Why
because
are
of
you so loud? Are you
because again, it's me coming out. It's
Oh
me
my
coming.
God.
So what the
Okay.
deal is? What the deal is? Because we tell people, because them other people ain't know how to handle the loggerhead turtles, we now restricted from doing that. Federal government, we are fined for that. And so,
Wow.
but I tell folks, we understood the environment.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to do that.
Because back in the day, you gave you if you took from the environment,
That's
you
right.
gave back.
And that's right.
But
And so
now people just take
that's
and
right.
don't give
That's
back, and
right.
now that's why we
Listen,
have issues with what's going on with this ecosystem
that's
that we have
right.
today.
So that's why I say, so that's the example. And I've shared it with some people. They like, look, they say, boy, you're right. I remember. And see, that's right. We ain't never have no problem like that day. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, but these other people come in here and they not destroy the environment. They
Mm-hmm.
not going to take all the stuff. Like, no, with us, nah, we were able to do it. You ain't got to have no law that puts in place or ordinance in place to say that you can't have your lights on,
Yeah.
inside your house,
Uh-huh.
at night when the log hits. Because again, we never had that. So I use
Mm-hmm.
that. Now, other people, they're like, yeah, y'all remember that. Y'all remember the coulda eggs. All that right there environment. I tell them, and I mess with people. I say again, gotta get your culture, not just on Hilton Head in South Carolina, but
Mm-hmm.
also in Savannah. I
Yeah.
said lightning bugs,
Oh yeah.
lightning bugs.
Used to see them all the
That's
time.
right. That's right.
All the time. Used to
That's right.
catch them in the
That's
little
right. That's
jars
right.
and,
That's right. That's
show them
right.
off or
That's
whatever you
right.
had them.
That's
I
right.
have not seen a
That's
lightning
right.
bug since I
That's
was a
right.
child.
That's right.
I have not
Listen.
seen none since I was a child.
So now I'm gonna share something with you. This is I am now, this is like 2019.
Mhm.
2019. One of my people who was at Savannah State,
Mhm.
he graduated from Savannah State, and then he went to go get his master's at Georgia Southern, but got hired at Georgia Southern.
Mhm.
So he had a panel. He had
Mhm.
a panel on social justice.
Mhm.
He said, Doc, I need you to come up here. I'm on the panel. And so I'm talking about this. And so we got into about environmental issues
Mhm.
with regards to social justice.
Mhm.
And so I tell folks, I said that, you know, you know that a community is polluted or neighborhood is polluted if you don't see any lightning bugs.
True.
I said, if you don't see any lightning bugs, that means that community is polluted.
Mhm.
So this one Caucasian man told the people that I didn't know what I was talking about.
Wow.
And so, he like, oh, no, I say, he don't know what he talking about, other stuff like that. But he went to this other person and said, yeah, I like him, but yeah, he don't know what he talking about. So my people, two
Mhm.
weeks later, sent me an email. I said, Doc, look at this right here.
Mhm.
And the article was on fireflies,
Mhm.
lightning bugs, and
Mhm.
talk about they are signs of of an environment that is not polluted. And he said, Doc, and he said that you ain't know what you was talking about. I said, right. I said, and that's what the deal is. That at institutions like that,
Mhm.
places like that, they think they know and don't know.
Mhm.
Here go these Gullah Geechee people, these African people right here.
That
We have
have
an
been
understanding.
here and know because this is how we were brought up and how we were taught.
That's right. Um,
and those life lessons are better than any lesson that you can learn
That's right.
from a
That's
book.
right. Woo, that's right. Cause and that's why I had hit on where because I had to go up in 2023 up to UGA
Mhm.
to be on a panel on environment.
Mhm.
And so I'm part of this panel. They had a group of people, and so Dion Hoskins, who our school board representative, she
Mhm.
was on it virtually. So I'm there, and I tell them, I said, "Y'all talking about climate change?" I said, "Check this out, Gullah Geechee people, Black folks, we've been talking about climate change since the 1960s.
Mhm.
We were discussing in the 80s. We were telling you about how the waterways of Savannah River being polluted.
Mhm.
We were telling you about that. We were telling you about the oyster beds and all that being polluted. We were saying that. I
Mhm.
said in the 70s, we were telling you all that. We rode up to DC with petitions talking about why you can't have certain factories and plants, excuse me, excuse me, along the
You might want
waterways.
to drink some of that because you keep, yeah,
Well, what is it's my allergies,
okay,
I
allergies.
don't need
Well,
the
go
wine,
ahead.
but yeah, the allergies. So
Mhm.
in the 70s, I say in the 80s, we discussed some of this. I said, but guess what? Y'all ignored us.
Mhm.
I said in the 90s, y'all ignored us. And so in the 2000s, that's when y'all start acting like this is brand new to y'all. I'm saying, no, it's not. We were discussing this right here. We had epidemics in this area right here
Mhm.
in the 1800s.
Mm.
I said, we had epidemics right here. I said, so y'all, see, y'all don't listen to us. I said, what y'all got to start doing, I said, you got to listen to black folks. I said, black folks, we are thermometer for the society,
Exactly.
for the community. We are thermometer.
Exactly.
What you see happening, bam, you need to be looking at us. And that's what black folks then got to understand. We don't sit at the table like on the side. We
Mhm.
sit at the head of the table
Table.
because,
Exactly.
especially in this environment right here, in these environments, the coastal areas, we got to be the ones that certain this because we have been doing this. Some people made a mockery of me when I said this is now like nearly 20 years ago
Mhm.
about planting oysters.
Mhm.
And some people, you know, about planting oysters. Look at me planting oysters. I'm like, and they're like, "Ah, look at that. See, they're so backwards. They're so country." I was like, planting oysters. I said, what you do when you're eating the oysters, I said, you just don't put the shells, you put the
Mhm.
shells back in
In
the
the
water.
water.
Put it
Yeah.
back in the water
Went back where you
because
got it
they,
from.
they got, they got to have
That's just like
replenish.
in your house. If you move it and use it, put it back where you got it from.
So bam.
Mhm.
And so then what happened? I tell folks 20 years ago, people try to act like I didn't know what I was talking about.
Mhm.
Then one day I'm driving on Montgomery Crossroad and Waters Avenue. I see a billboard up there, and the billboard asked about volunteers to put oyster shells out in the marsh. I was like, see, this is what I'm talking about. I said, this is that stuff right here. I
Mhm.
said, y'all come around to this right now? We've been through this
Mhm.
for centuries. And so that's why I said that pride about us right
Yeah.
here, Gullah Geechee people. We understand about environment. We always understood about the
Mhm.
environment, about the land, we
Mhm.
understood about the air, we about the water. We understood about that.
So that's that FAFO type of thing.
Absolutely.
Now you sit back with your popcorn and just watch, cause it's like tried to tell you.
Yeah, and right, and put it right there on time. So we told y'all this. We'll let
Mhm.
y'all know this. Right.
Wow.
Overfishing, over shrimping, all that right there. So we knew better than that. So I'm
Mhm.
like, but just what y'all gonna do? But then y'all would fool some people and make them think that y'all are the superstars in this. I'm like,
Mhm.
no, it's not. Look at us. We're
Yeah.
the ones. It's your granddaddy, your grandmama, your uncles, your aunts are
Mhm.
the ones who've been carrying this on.
Yeah. So like, cause I know, cause I'm always coming to you about my watermelons and stuff, cause I like my watermelons and the yellow meat watermelons, and they're not as that's another question I wanted. I mean, it's totally different what we talk about, but we'll get back to that. But with the yellow meat watermelons, those are rarer to find than like the regular watermelons.
Well, and but some going to tell you that
Yeah,
watermelons, people thought it was
and they have a stigma. Watermelon has always had a stigma to it as far as with black people. But
and so I guess not. Oh, see,
yeah,
now you're gonna make me get in this right here.
yes, go
So
ahead.
let me go and talk about the fruit of liberation
There
and
you go.
education.
Uh huh.
Watermelon is the fruit of liberation and education. When
Hmm.
people don't like you, they will make sure that the things that you are strong at become something that you think is weak,
Hmm.
and some of you will buy into it. And in
Hmm.
fact, what happened in 2024, I got a group of educators with me. We left from Savannah, went to St. Helena. So again, I did the same thing, did the
Hmm.
tour start in Savannah, going to
Hmm.
Beaufort County, Jasper. And so we get to St. Helena to Penn Center.
Hmm.
And so I began to discuss about watermelon. These are people, educators from around the entire country, part of the Nobles Project. And so I said, watermelon is the fruit of liberation and education. And they're looking at me. I said, black people tend to shy away. Some black people shy away from it. I said, we don't shy away from it. I said, because guess what? Black people had a proficiency at growing watermelons.
Mhm.
I said, guess what that proficiency led to? That means that they had economics. So
Mhm.
guess what they did with that economics? They didn't use that money to pay tuition for their daughter or their son to go to college
Mhm.
or go to boarding schools in this area here. So people look at me like they mouth drop. I said, yeah. I said, so that fruit was a fruit of education and liberation for our people. That's why they have financial resources that, again, they are so proficient at growing the watermelon and so good at it. Bam. So they now have this nest egg. They have this pot. They
Mhm.
have this economic engine from their agricultural science.
Mhm.
I said, what happened in 1900, early 1900s, they want to give the image that watermelon black people were lazy and shiftless and all
Mhm.
that stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
I said, but at the same time, they were saying for black people that that made them lazy or they were lazy about that. They have a Caucasian man that they write about the same time who was producing watermelon. They talk about how a thrift he was, how economics astute he was with regards to him growing his watermelons. I said that's the same thing today. When
Mhm.
we celebrate them
Mhm.
and no matter how racist they are, and then hate us and come with that proximity bias on us. When I'm
Mhm.
like saying, fool, we are the ones that are the genius with regards to this, and that's what the deal is. So watermelon has represented freedom and education. Cause I say
Mhm.
some of your grandparents and parents would have never gone to
Mhm.
college, but for your great grandparents and great grandmothers and fathers being proficient at growing watermelon.
Mhm. Not to mention the nutritional value
Right, which is a
of
superfruit.
yes.
Right. And so, and with watermelon, that again, watermelon, even on the continent, is yellow. You
Mhm.
know, and so people are gonna say the process that some gonna say the yellow is the origins of it,
Mhm.
and they say, and then basically because people like telling GMO, like
Mhm.
my brother Chef BJ Dennis Howard, pretty much anything can be GMO. You know,
Mhm.
so we think genetic modification that some of the laboratory stuff and like that's all frightening. Like yo, when you planting your you know your broccoli by some kale,
Mhm.
it's gonna be some
Yeah.
genetic modification with regard
Uh-huh.
if you were looking for
But
those
that's a
seeds.
natural
Right,
genetic
right, yeah,
modification
yeah,
though.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
but so we,
that's fine. There's nothing wrong with
but
that.
some people don't think about that, 'cause
Uh-huh.
which and that's leading up to again about with regards to the watermelons. So what happens on Sunday? I'm at Promised Land. So then the brother asked me about what one of the watermelons out there, and they was like, Doc, what watermelons we got out here? I say, yeah, we just got the sugar babies out there. And so then they like sugar babies. I'm like, yeah, sugar babies. I said they're round.
Mhm.
They're small. Some call them icebox watermelons. I said, they got seeds in it. So I look at the brother.
Mhm.
I said, people classify them as seedless watermelons.
Mhm.
And they're going to say that they're GMO, that they're genetically modified, they created. I said, let me go and tell you this. All watermelons have seeds.
Mhm.
I said, all of them got seeds. I said, when people are saying that this is seedless watermelons, I said, that's incorrect. All of them have seeds. I said, just what the deal is, they may not have a lot of
Have
seeds.
seeds in 'em.
They might have one or two or three.
And then some of them have those little bitty white seeds
Yeah,
in it.
right,
Yeah.
right, because they're not mature.
Yeah.
You have the immature seeds. I
Yeah.
was saying, but you may have one or two mature seeds inside that whole watermelon. I said, so no, it's not that because our mind seedless. And what happened? I had again our councilwoman Alicia Miller Blakely last year. She came. I don't want a seedless watermelon. I don't want. I said, well, this is what we got out here. She came out there, and so she got
Mhm.
the sugar baby. So she got. She said, Jamal, cousin. I need me some more sugar babies. She said that thing is. I'm like, yeah. I said, I know. I said, because again, I know how people have got you
Mhm.
caught up into this right here. And so again, we see genetic modification of plants on the African continent that then come over here. So for most of us, we see the red watermelons, but the
Mhm.
yellow watermelons are just as popular also on the continent
Mhm.
too, and they come across the water. For some people, they just that's sold better for them with regard to the red.
Yeah.
But you also got orange watermelons too.
Now I've never seen them.
Yeah, they call them
Haven't
tender
seen them.
sweet. Tender sweet.
I
Uh-huh.
I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
We
to
have you have
find one
orange
and
you
well,
have
yeah.
orange
Your
watermelon too.
assignment, get me a orange.
The deers ate up mine. So yeah. So that's one thing. Because again, and so again, that's how the environment.
Environment, yeah. I get
Because
it, yeah.
they're building.
Well,
all
tell
around.
Bambi to back off for a little
Oh
while
yeah,
until he, get me an
yeah.
orange
Oh yeah,
watermelon
yeah,
for me.
yeah, yeah.
Cause like I like to make, cause I'll take the yellow and the
Mhm,
red and like mix
mhm.
it up, make like a
Okay.
nice little watermelon type salad with
Mhm,
both of them in there, and
mhm,
throw some pineapples in there,
mhm.
and that's
Yeah,
my meal.
yeah.
Cause you
Yes,
know that
ma'am.
I break my fast every day
Mhm,
with the
mhm,
eating the watermelon.
mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and the first thing I tell you, I'm low on watermelon. I need
Mhm,
me another watermelon.
mhm.
So, yeah.
Promised Land Farm, 269 Monty Road, Fort
Well, yeah,
Wentworth,
just
Georgia.
tell them that.
269 Monteith Road, Fort Wentworth, Georgia. 269 Monteith Road, right there in Port Wentworth. Promised Land Farm, Monday through Saturday from 9 to 5. Hmm.
Well, there you go. There's your plug.
Watermelons, $10, $8 right now. The sugar beet
Oh my
right now,
God.
10 and 8. So you go out there.
He's
That's right.
turning he's
You know.
turning it into an
Mhm.
advertisement.
Oh, I'm just
Okay.
letting you since you're saying that because
Yeah.
you don't want to ask me about the boneless hams.
I ain't ask you about no boneless ham. What is a
See,
boneless
see,
ham? I
see.
never asked
She
about a boneless ham.
she ain't from Hilton Head.
No,
On
I don't.
Hilton Head,
What?
watermelon is called boneless ham.
Oh,
If people know the history. Some people
okay.
forgot
See, I
because
never knew
so
that.
right and
What is that? How
but
did it get the name boneless ham?
definitely I had a lady from Mississippi.
Mhm.
She said when you first cut the watermelon,
Mhm.
it's almost the look of a ham. And so,
Okay. Okay.
but if you go to Virginia, some people call it Georgia ham or Georgia candy.
Oh wow. Okay.
Some other parts of the South, they call it July ham, August ham, or garden ham.
Mm.
And then some people call it Carolina grape. So that's why we're letting
Mm.
y'all know that. So again, that we throw out the people, we throw
See,
that out there.
hey, I
So again,
learned
she
something
thought,
new.
I don't no boneless ham.
But see, you learn
Right,
something
right,
new.
that's
That's
right.
that's the purpose of
So
this
that's
show,
what.
to help you learn.
So,
Like I said, the more you know, the
and
more
so
you grow.
and so
So I just grew a little bit more because I just learned something else.
right.
So I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So thank you so much for that. And since we are about to run out of time, I want to say thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed this and getting my little education for tonight, because I learned a lot more than what I did know. So, and I hope you all did too. And you can see a schedule or tour. Tell them how they can get in touch with you for your
You
tour.
contact me 912-220-5966. 912-220-5966. And guess what? I'm going to say this right here. Julius Hall did not discover me at Savannah State crying. I was not crying in no office at the SGA office at Savannah State. Julius Hall did not find me crying. I
Oh
don't care
my
what none
God.
of y'all say.
All right. I'm glad you was able to get that off of your
Yeah,
chest.
yeah.
Now, the name of your tour is what?
Day Clean Journeys. Day Clean Journeys.
Day
Day Clean
Clean
Journeys.
Journeys.
And day
Okay.
clean is a Gullah word,
Okay.
which means new day, dawn, when the sun peaks on the horizon.
Okay.
Each day starts anew.
A new
This
day.
is a philosophy of life.
Okay.
Doesn't matter
Day
what
Clean.
happens today. Yep. Well, it doesn't matter what happened yesterday. You're here today.
Uh-huh.
Day clean. Each day starts anew. Each day new way.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome. See, you just learned another little nugget. See,
Yeah.
you steady dropping them. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna have to get a broom and pile all of these up, and
That's
so
right.
I put them in a little thing so I can go back and pick them out sometime.
That's right.
I appreciate it. Well, I want to say thank you. We appreciate you for stopping by. We're gonna have to have you by again sometime, and we'll talk about the days when we first met, which you probably don't remember, but
We,
I'll
we, we
jog you.
can discuss that. I
Yeah.
was gonna bring that up.
The-
Where my money
oh, I'm
at?
sorry,
Where my money
we
at?
don't have enough time for
Where
that.
my money
So
at? Where my
thank,
money at?
thank you
Where
all
my
for
money
taking
at?
it. Really, thank you all for joining us for this edition of Expressed Opinion. I really appreciate you taking the time out to sit down and have a glass of wine and enjoy the conversation. So until next time, like I always say, in the words of my dearly departed mother, Geneva C. Boykins, please be good. And if you can't be good, at least be careful. We'll see you next time. Smooches.
Where my money at?